Welcome back to Midday Live on TV3. Our very first business story for the afternoon. And the Minister of Power, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has admitted Ghana's energy crisis is a financial issue, not a generation of fuel problem. He said the country has failed to invest in the sector, while the power sector is crippled by indebtedness. Dr. Donkor was speaking at the inauguration of a 7-member committee to investigate a fire outbreak at the ECG warehouse in Kumasi.
A 7-member committee chaired by the National Security is investigating the December 21 fire outbreak at the ECG warehouse in Kumasi. They are mandated to find circumstances that led to the destruction of prepaid meters and other materials worth $3 million. Members of the committee will also look at insurance and safety measures to avert future occurrences. The Minister of Power, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, gave the committee 10 days to come out with their findings.
The importance that we attach to this is reflected in the composition of the committee. They are all seasoned professionals, seasoned investigators, and we thought, let's keep out the politicians, let's keep out the other people, the non-technical people, and have a purely technical investigative team.
He was particularly worried about the current level of investment in the sector and said the destruction was a setback and cannot be overlooked. He described the current power situation as bleeding. Dr. Kwabena Donkor cited financial challenges as the biggest bane of the sector.
Currently, the sector is crippled by indebtedness, and therefore to have assets worth close to $3 million, $2.8 million to be exact, plus a local component of about 44,000 Ghana cedis, bent at a time when the utilities are bleeding, cannot be seen as one of those things.
6 ECG officials have been interdicted following the incident.
Inflation for December 2014 remained unchanged at 17.0% as recorded in November 2014. The stability in inflationary figures was due to sustained price levels of goods and services in the economy.
The monthly change rate in inflation stood at 1.0% compared to 0.9% recorded in November 2014. Food inflation rate was 6.8% in December as against 6.6% recorded in November, an increase of 0.2%. For non-food, the rate stood at 23.9% as against 24.1% in November 2014. The main price drivers included housing, water, gas, mineral water, soft drinks, sugar, fruits and vegetables. Imported items was 23.4%, that is 1.5 times higher than the inflation rate of 14.5% for locally produced items. This is the highest inflation rate since March 2010. The Deputy Government Statistician, Banwadie, explains why the Northern region recorded the highest regional inflation rate of 19.0%.
For health, these all recorded percentage changes above the regional average, and these were quite substantial. On the average, if people there spent 10 cedis on average in December 2013 in the northern region, now they will have to find an additional 19% of that 10 cedis that they spent.
The value of goods and services for the third quarter of 2014 grew by 5.1% compared to 1.0% recorded in the third quarter of 2013. The industry sector was the highest growth contributor, recording the highest growth rate of 8.1%.
On quarterly basis, the economy's growth rate recorded 1.4%. This was fueled by the financial and insurance activities for 2014, which stood at 8.5%. The same activity was also the topmost key economic activity, contributing to an increase of 36.0% of the annual GDP growth rate. However, some subsectors recorded negative growth rate.
Transport and storage, which declined by negative 3.4%. Then we have hotels and restaurant activities, also recording a negative 0.9% growth or decline. Then we have water and sewerage, which also declined by negative 0.9%. Then business, real estate and other service activities also declining by 0.4%.
The agricultural sector, fishing activities increased by 4.2% from 2.7% growth recorded in the second quarter of 2014. Mining and quarrying subsector within the industry sector also grew by 3.3 percentage points. Oil GDP estimates at current prices for the third quarter was 31,418.1 million cedis compared to 25,951.9 million cedis recorded in 2014 second quarter. The agri sector followed industry, the highest contributor to economic growth, with 4.4%. The services sector followed with 3.5%.
Right, that'll do for business this afternoon.